So, you know, the constant endeavor that I had was to get to that sensation level, that illogical, unreasonable pattern that each of us seems to have embedded inside him, which influences the way we think, we feel, we relate, we dream, we fear, we handle our situations. Everything is like a yellow colored glasses, you know, that you look anywhere is yellow. So if your core pattern is like this, constricting, everything in your life has to do with either constricting or expanding. Whatever you ask him, you know, you can ask him about any damn thing. You can ask him, tell me about a swimming pool, and he will say, you know, the swimming pool, you go, you swim in the pool and you feel expanded. He has to say that. It's so crazy. You can ask him about anything and he will say this. So once you reach to the core pattern, almost anything you touch will go back into that. You have, of course, it's a process of questioning and inquiry. But ultimately, when you ask, how does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? He will go to this and to this. This is uncanny. And it is so sometimes bizarre how people can get to this point from anywhere or everywhere. So that's the thing. So I was constantly trying to find certain, you can say, shortcuts or more direct approach to get to this sensation. And I was trying a few things. One of the things I tried was doodle. So what I would ask the patient to do is to make a doodle. Some doodle means what? Anything that doesn't come from your thinking, just a scribble on a piece of paper. And if you can just give it a thought for a moment, what is a doodle? The doodle is the only illogical thing that a civilized man is allowed to do without getting institutionalized. This is the doodle. Try to give it a thought. Everything we do has to be rational, has to be logical, has to be reasonable, etc., etc. The only thing we are allowed to do is to scribble something that has no meaning. Now, unfortunately, instead of scribbling, if we say the same thing, we will be in the institution. Suppose, so if you just translate the doodle into words, it will be, this is the doodle, right? This is the vocal form of a doodle. Straight, you will go into the madhouse, I'm quite sure. So we are not allowed to doodle with words, only doodle with. So I understood that the doodle is the only irrational thing we are supposed to do. And if our core pattern is irrational, our core pattern is not rational. It is irrational. When somebody says, what is this? There's no reason. Nobody ever got this situation. It's not rational. It is there. It is a non-human specific experience, you see, right? So I understood that the doodle is the one thing that can, so I made patients to make a doodle and to just look at it. And when they looked at it, they had to dismiss logic, rationality, interpretation, analysis, etc., etc. They just had to look and experience it. And it was as if their inner core pattern was expressed in the doodle, and by looking at it, it would ring a bell somewhere inside, and something irrational would have the possibility to be expressed. And this doodle thing worked very well. And in fact, it is one of the wise processes that we use. So this was the beginning, you know, how, because what is the aha moment? The aha moment is when I made a doodle and then I looked at it and I said, shit, what is this? It makes no sense. And for a homeopath, anything that doesn't make sense is really heaven sent, you know. When a patient says, I feel cook and I feel cook, this is beautiful for a homeopath because it makes no sense. It becomes individual, right? So when I looked at my own doodle, I said, yeah, it makes no sense. Wonderful. Great. Let me experiment with this with patients. And my way of doing, anything is experimentation. I don't deal with, you know, uh, guesswork, or I don't deal with theories or hypothesis. Well, there may be a hypothesis, but it has to be put to the experience in a very pure, unprejudiced way. And this is the way I've always worked. So we started working with doodles for a long time. And then slowly I started working with other things which are interesting. So we got a group together and worked on other wise processes where things don't make sense.